All right, it says that we're now being live streamed. Are you ready for us to go?
Once they got to post it on the website.
Not
Right.
yet. I haven't posted yet.
I don't know what you said.
She's got to post it on the website. She hadn't done it yet. And once she posts it, we can start the meeting.
Jacinta, did you send it?
Yes, Tracy, sorry, I'm talking to you with the mute
Okay,
button, but you should
it
have
just
it.
came through. Hold on. Okay, let me go verify that it's working. Okay, you guys are good to go.
Thank you.
All right, let's go, Ms. Gale.
We'll call our meeting to order. Public comments can be made via email to publiccomment@lsbme.la.gov. As public comments are received for the little time that we're not in executive session, Dr. Van will let us know. We're going to go through identification of the participants and verifying the audio. My name is Gay Brunson. I'm a member of the committee. I'm employed at Reeves Memorial Medical Center and I'm chairman. We'll just go down the line. Angela?
You're muted. You're muted.
Angela, unmute. We got to verify.
Okay, I'm Angela Foley and I'm retired from LSU and I hold the position of educator.
Thank you. Nadlin?
Nadlin Rito, educator at SLCC Medical Laboratory Technician Program.
All righty. Patsy?
Patsy Jarrow, Director of Clinical Laboratory Personnel at the board.
Larry?
Larry, you're muted.
Larry Broussard, representing CLS specialist.
Belinda?
Belinda Carmen, MedTech Generalist.
Okay. Michelle?
Michelle Edmonston, I work for Delta Pathology. I am an MLS Administrator Manager.
Dr. Taylor?
Jim Taylor, board member.
Melissa?
Melissa Hamilton, Cytology Supervisor at Ochsner Health, representing cytology.
Okay. Amy?
Hi, I'm Amy Christo. I'm the program specialist at Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners.
All right. Jessica?
I'm Jessica Lassiter. I work at ULM, University of Louisiana Monroe, and I'm an educator at an MLS program.
Right. Who's P. Johnson?
Phyllis, you're muted. Okay, Phyllis is the, she must have stepped away. Phyllis is the supervisor of the Allied Health
Licensing division.
Okay. Tabitha?
Hi, I'm Tabitha Whip. I am the MLT seat.
All right. Mr. Vignar?
Dave,
You're
you're
muted.
muted.
No, sorry. Yeah, I'm Dave Vicknair. I'm a licensing analyst at the LSBME.
Ms. Wilton?
Patricia Wilton, attorney for the LSBME.
Lauren,
Lauren Sudeth, attorney for the LSBME.
the what?
The LSBME, the board.
Okay. Tracy
Tracy Morrow, IT Tech for LSBME.
and Dr. Van. You're muted.
I'm the executive director of the Board of Medical Examiners.
Okay, very good. The first item on our agenda is approval of the minutes from October 3rd. Y'all all had a chance to review those. Is there any discussion? If no discussion or edits, I would entertain an approval and second to accept the minutes.
Move to
approve.
accept the-
A second.
Okay, who's that? Larry and Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And being no other old business, I guess we are ready to have a motion and second to go into executive session.
Do we want to vote to approve the minutes? We had
I
a
think,
first.
I think we probably should. I'm trying to get us moving.
I know.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Right now, need a motion and second to enter executive session.
I move we go into executive session.
I second.
Who's that?
Tabitha,
Tabitha.
second.
Okay.
Okay.
All those in favor of entering executive session, say aye.
Uh,
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion carries. So if y'all would move the folks over to executive session to the other room.
Okay, I'm working on it. To move quicker, you can hit the blue button at the bottom right. That's gonna say leave the meeting.
Come up in a few minutes. Hit the blue join button in the white window and you'll be moved over.
Hey, Tracy, could you send me to the breakout room? I'm finally able to get back in.
Okay, let me see if Jessica can do that because only the admin can do that. And she's on as
Okay.
admin, so I'll ask her.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you on your phone or on your computer?
I'm on my phone. Oh, look,
Okay.
she just sent me the link.
Okay.
Let me see if it's gonna let me go this time.
All right.
Looks like we lost Gay. Oh, there she comes.
I think you have everybody, Ms. Gay. Ms. Gay, if you're talking, you're muted.
We have all the members.
Yes, but Gay doesn't seem to be hearing us to start the meeting again.
Oh, I see, yes.
She says she's trying.
I see. Just a minute, just a minute.
Okay. Sorry. All right, do we have to vote in public to leave executive session?
No, you did it.
We didn't do it in public.
Ms. Wilton?
No, you're in public session as per your most recent vote.
Okay.
Angela is muted and she can't unmute. She just called me.
She needs to click the button that says, do you know that you're live streaming?
Do you have a button that says, do you know you are live streaming?
Oh, leave the meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought I had done
you're
that.
back.
Me too. I clicked and clicked.
Okay,
Me
you're
too.
back.
Okay, great.
All right, well, guys, I apologize for this. I tried to get us done a week or two ago. But we just have these edits that need to be made to the cleanup, and so I suggest that we start over from the very beginning and first go to section 1315A1.
Actually, you would have something in 13. I'm sorry, you would go to 1312, section 17 and
Number
delete the word
17.
not.
Gotcha.
That would be your first motion.
Okay.
All right, on 1317, it was noted.
Dan, get her.
1312, section 17. 1312, section 17, that the word not in the very last of the sentence is inappropriate and should be
It should
removed.
say and is allowed. Take out the but, put in and cross out the not. And
So
is
I-
allowed.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion. Do you want me to
I'll
reread
second.
it or is it? Okay.
And who's the second?
I'll
Me,
second,
Angela.
Tabitha.
Okay,
Anyhow.
got it. Okay.
Ms. Wilton, do we need to restate that?
No, I have it. Thank you.
Can we vote on all of them at one time or do we need to vote individually?
You can vote on them all at one time as long as you can restate them in globo when you vote.
Oh, let's just do it separate. That'll, I
Yeah.
think.
All right, all
get through it.
all those in favor of the said changes to section 17?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next edit was I have
Section 1315A1.
1315A1.
Okay.
And the edit was going to be removed not later than February 1st, 1994, and delete everything after the word part from the board to the end of the section.
Okay.
I make a motion that in 1315, section A, that we delete not later than February 4th, 1994, and everything after this part.
I'll second.
Who's
Tab-
that? Tabitha.
Tabitha.
All those in favor of this change? Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, 1315-3,
A3,
A3, yes. I move that we strike out to become medical laboratory scientist and cytologist and add individuals training for all clinical laboratory licenses and permits.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
Who's that?
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
Okay.
All those in favor of this change, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
You want me to do the next one, Ms. Kay?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Section 1318B1. We're gonna strike out or permit, so it's gonna read each applicant for a license, except a laboratory assistant shall successfully complete an examination recommended by the committee and approved by the board, and then remove unless the applicant qualifies for licensure without examination is provided in this part.
A second.
May I speak? Because you said you wanted to leave that in for the people who don't require licenses.
No, the only one that
No require
doesn't, it says,
examinations to get a license.
it says except laboratory assistant. That's the only one that doesn't need
All
a
right.
license.
All right, so you can leave it just that way? Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Because I had it wrong. I just want to make sure we get it right.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Patsy, phlebotomists get a license or
Yes.
permit? They get a
Well,
license.
it's a permit. We might
Well,
ought to put, it says
Lee-
license or permit.
Well, then don't strike out the word permit.
Yeah, don't strike out permit.
Okay, now I'm a little confused. So we're going to keep permit
Yeah.
and we're going to just strike out unless the applicant qualifies for licensure without examination?
Yes.
Yes. Because originally, when this law was enacted, there were people that did not take examinations.
They were grandfathered.
And this goes back to that.
There's
Well-
no more of that.
So for the phlebotomist to get a permit, they have to have passed an exam. That's correct.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, okay. We're
Okay.
good. So that was Jessica and Angela, right? Okay.
All those in favor of this change, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
I think somebody has a question, Ms. Gay.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, so that phlebotomists, what we issued phlebotomists, I guess in the rules, it kind of was referred to as a certification, but it's no longer referred to as that. It is now considered a permit.
It's not a certification. The certification is done by an outside national agency. It's not, so it's a permit. It's not a certification.
So it's not, it was called that in the rules, but it's not called that anymore. It's what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, all right.
And the rules will be reworked after the law is settled.
Yeah. So we'll make the match.
Okay, who has another item?
The next one's 1318D.
1318D.
So I can do this. I can move
Okay.
that D will, there's a couple of grammatical changes. An applicant may be licensed to remove the hyphen in each laboratory personnel license category for which the applicant duly qualifies.
Qualifies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, do I have a second to this?
A second.
Second.
Everybody.
Who's that?
Michelle?
Michelle.
Michelle. Okay.
All those in favor of these changes, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The next section was
No.
section E.
No, we have to do E.
Oh. Yeah, E.
The verbiage should be a license except a temporary permit shall be valid for, strike out a period of 1 year and change it to the calendar year in which it is issued.
I have, Angela, let's think about wording it like this, that it will be valid until the end of the current licensing cycle. Because if they, Dr. Van wanted us to not do it on a calendar year thing, if that ever goes into effect, that'll have to be changed again.
I thought a calendar year is January to December.
But Angela,
Whatever, I'm good with it. That's the way you bet. Is it better the way she said it?
it doesn't make any difference to me. But I think if you want to let the rules, which are easier to change, address it, shall be valid for no longer than 1 year as specified in the rules.
That's
And that
fine.
way, if y'all want to go to twice a year and spread out the work, it is a little bit harder for the people in the laboratories because they have 2 times a year they got to check licenses. But yeah, I will tell you all that your hospitals, specifically your large hospital licensing, they can verify a license electronically like they do the docs. We have that available for them. So we can help some of you all. But again, if you want to leave it as like it is, all would be the rules would just address it. And that's the best way to do it.
Either way, I don't see it's a problem. But
Shall
no
be valid
longer
for
than
longer
a
than a
year.
year as specified in the rules.
All right, so change it to
For
valid for no longer than 1 year.
longer than a year.
As specified in the rules, unless suspended or revoked.
Ms. Wilton, are you good with that, or do we need to start over?
That's okay, I've got it. Thank you.
All right, who made this motion
Jessica did.
and hit second?
Michelle? Or are we
No.
on E? Oh,
No,
we
we're
need
on
a new
E.
one. We
I
need
think
new
Angela made the motion and I can second it.
Angela
Okay.
and Jessica. Okay.
All those in favor of these changes say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next section. That we have a edit.
1324 is the only other one I have. Oh, no, there's something in 1321.
Yes, it's the D, 1321D. It's, so in D, it says an individual whose license or permit has lapsed and who has not been actively engaged in the practice of clinical laboratory science for, it should say less than 5 years. Right, Patsy? Yes, less than 5 years. In other words, 5 years was the limit, at which point somebody had to be retrained. So it should have said for less than 5 years, may have his license or permit reinstated upon payment of the renewal fee and the delinquent fee and submission of evidence satisfactory to the board that the applicant has fulfilled, or the licensee or guest, the individual, it should say the individual has fulfilled continuing education and training requirements as promulgated by the board upon recommendation of the committee. That's what Patsy and I came up with. Because it's wrong.
It is wrong.
More than 5 years, you got to do a lot more. You have to retrain. If it's less than 5 years, then you can get your license or permit reinstated if you pay your delinquent fees and renewal fees, and then show that you got the continuing education.
All right, Angela, you just said something in this section about training. So if it's less than 5 years, they don't need training.
They don't need the training. You're right.
Training
That was
doesn't need to
something
be
that,
listed.
exactly.
That's, and then we were going to add an E. Right, Angela? To talk about the people who have been out more than 5 years.
I don't know, Patsy.
Okay,
We need to discuss it.
Y'all want to do that one? You want to do the correction on D and move for that, or do you need together?
No, we need a correction on this line item D.
Okay, do D. Who's
Do I
going to
have-
do?
Do I have
Okay,
a
I
motion for-
move that under the line, the practice of clinical laboratory science for more than 5 years be changed to for less than 5 years.
Do we have a
I'll
second?
second.
Who's that?
Tabitha.
Tabitha, thank you.
All those in favor of this change, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Patsy, I thought the greater than 5 years is somewhere else in here.
I don't think so. I think we wrote it out.
I don't have it. If you wrote it out, then
I
you
did, you
wrote
told
it.
me to.
You wrote it
anyone-
out. You have it.
I have it. You told me
Oh.
to write it.
Yes.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 1321E. There is no E, but we think we should add one. An individual whose license or permit has lapsed and who has not been actively engaged in the practice of clinical laboratory science for more than 5 years must fulfill the continuing education requirements and training these are not bad.
Education and training. That's why I had the
Education and training requirements as promulgated by the board upon recommendation of the committee. And that means that those people that have been out more than 5 years have to go to a hospital and get somebody that's willing to train them for at least 3 weeks for a generalist in each of the 4 major categories.
But that'll be
in the rules.
It's in the rules.
Yeah,
It
but
just didn't get translated to
that's
the law.
what this
quite
goes.
right.
That's what this goes. We'll go with this.
Well, Patsy, just because this is a law and it's much harder to change than the rules.
Yeah.
If you say 3 weeks training.
No, she was
Well,
just
we're not putting
explaining
that
the
in there.
rules.
Yeah, we're not putting that in the law.
Okay, so you're gonna just change, okay.
Yeah, no, that's
You're
not
gonna
part.
say
I
an
was,
individual who's lapsed for more than 5 years must meet the educational requirements established in the rules.
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, that's all I needed to know, because I had
Yes.
something else that you'd said.
Yeah, no, that's in the rules and that's what we make them do. Right near at 7 years, but we're changing it to 5, but that's.
Do we have a motion as for this change?
I make a motion.
Mr. McNair has a question before we make the motion.
I'm sorry to interrupt again, but did we look at 1324 capital B?
Can't we finish what we're doing in D?
Well, I think it's the
On
same
B?
thing.
No.
You said 1324?
B.
That one.
Yeah, let's finish this one first.
No, Patsy, that's where it is.
That's where it is.
Oh, that's where it is?
I knew it was somewhere else.
So it doesn't need to be added. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we don't need that 1321E.
So we
Look-
don't need 1321E, okay?
All right, thank you.
Where is it?
Well, it's under
13
license in training. It's 1324B.
Okay.
Look at it.
You need to say more than 5
It
years,
doesn't
right?
say anything about more than 5 years.
Who has not been engaged in the practice of laboratory within the last 5 years. That's more than
5 years.
I must be looking at the wrong thing. Hold on.
1324B, Patsy.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay.
And there is a typo. 5 is in there twice.
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 Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We don't need the E then. Forget the E. We don't need to add that. It'll be covered right here. Okay, got it.
And then we wanted to add a C to that, just for completeness. Trainees may
Wait a
not.
minute.
Wait.
Wait.
Oh,
Wait,
okay. Okay.
A C
sorry.
to what, Angela?
No. Is there anything immediately following section 1321D?
I had some right on the next page, but so we're gonna come back to what they're talking about, Gay.
Yeah,
what
we're gonna go.
follow the document.
We're gonna
correct?
follow the
Okay.
document.
Yes.
Okay, so again, I'm just gonna mention this again, 1322 was temporary light permit and fee. We're not talking about that right now though, right?
No.
Even though we've been told we may
No.
not have that.
Oh,
Okay,
No.
all right.
Well, this is what's currently in the law, and it's what
We're keeping.
we're for.
All
it.
right. Okay, so on over to 1323. When I read 1323A 1 and 2,
Uh-huh.
first one was possesses a baccalaureate degree from an accredited college or university, fulfill the educational requirements necessary to enroll in a school of medical laboratory science, complete 1 year of full-time clinical laboratory experience or its equivalent. You know, like, do we really want to state how many years or just put complete required clinical laboratory experience? Because not everybody does 1 year anymore.
Yeah, the school setups have changed. There's a lot of 2 and 2 schools.
There's tons. But then when I kept on reading, so that's 1, and it's very, it's very explicit. Then 2 is just almost just like by 1, but doesn't have all those requirements. So number 2, complete the educational, clinical, and employment experience requirement necessary to be eligible for and successfully complete a national recognized certification exam approved by the board. So that one states just what we're wanting to say, but it's not as explicit.
Well, you got to meet one or the other. If you just want to delete 1 altogether, that's fine, and we just have change 2 to 1, and that would be they shall meet the requirement of completed the educational, clinical, and employment experience required, necessary to be eligible for, and successfully complete a nationally recognized certification examination approved by the board.
You left out that they have a bachelor's degree.
Well,
they don't. Those
They-
AABP people don't have one.
in other words, you do not have to have a bachelor's degree presently as the way this is structured. Shall meet one of the following. They don't have to meet both.
I really don't like them not having a baccalaureate degree, but that's the way it's written.
Then if you wanted to, this is your time to make it say what you want. So why don't you say complete the educational requirements for a baccalaureate degree from an accredited college, university, clinical and employment experience required necessary to be eligible for and successfully complete. So basically, you're just going to take the baccalaureate requirement, roll it into 2, and delete all of 1.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so we're gonna put baccalaureate education.
So it would read complete the baccalaureate educational degree, clinical and employment experience requirement necessary to be eligible for and successfully complete a nationally recognized certification exam approved by the board.
And we're gonna delete all of 1.
Yeah.
And just read through that again. I mean, I just went back and forth, and y'all, everybody else speak up.
I like it.
Does it not
Yeah,
need to
I
say?
do like it, but is this gonna be a deal breaker? Is this
It
gonna
could be a
something
deal
that
breaker.
those people
Because
who know
AA
who
people
I'm
like
talking
this.
about are gonna lobby against it? I
They
don't know.
are.
All right, y'all are taking out that it's from a school of medical laboratory science.
Yeah, you can't, I don't know.
But
You can
it
say
says
complete a
clinical and
baccalaureate
employment
degree from a school
experience.
of laboratory science. You can say it in 2 if that's what you wanted to say.
And it's under qualifications of medical laboratory scientists. So the certification exam has to be a medical laboratory scientist certification exam.
So basically,
No,
say
they're all together. Yeah, they are all together.
What do you mean, Jessica?
So that bold heading at the top, it just A is all of MLS. B must be categorical MLS. C is MLT, that they're kind of all together. So we may, Because remember, I don't think we have to say School of Medical Technology, because under A, it says each applicant for licensure as a medical laboratory scientist. I mean, but we
Okay.
can add it and be more explicit. That's fine. Or we can just change one to not completely say 1 year of full-time clinical laboratory experience. Now, it does say or its equivalent, but 1 year is extremely outdated now. You know,
Do you think there are programs that that do all the training and clinical training in less than a year?
I don't.
No,
It
I mean,
depends-
they
it
don't
depends what you
train in a
consider.
hospital for a year, but they do.
But they do
the-
clinical laboratory science for a year,
in their
at least a
program
year.
before they go to train. There are no MLS programs that you can get that in less than a year.
no,
that
but
I'm aware-
this statement's talking about full-time clinical laboratory experience.
I don't think that's what it means.
But we need to fix it then.
See, I'm reading it as like what we used to do, 52 weeks of.
No, I always read that to include all of what you would do in a clinical laboratory science program.
Okay.
But we can change the wording if y'all want to. But I tell you, Angela's right. If we make it only baccalaureate, the Johnny Coke's coming after us.
And you know what? In light of what the new CLIA regs are trying to do, they're really trying to get rid of degree requirements. They're trying to go to equivalencies. If y'all been, I haven't looked at it in a while because they made it public for people for public comments. So I just feel like we're opening a can of worms there.
Let's just use number 2 as it is and eliminate number 1.
Well, you don't have to.
Number 1 will
We
fit
can have
in
them both,
number 2.
Patsy.
You can have them both. I just thought they were, I see why you, maybe now why you had them both. I didn't understand why we had them both, but it's okay.
I think that's opening a can of worms, and I think we ought to leave it just like it is. I
Okay.
mean, we would love to have the
would.
baccalaureate degree as the benchmark, but I don't want to open a can of worms.
But do you want to, her issue initially was, I think, Jessica, was the 1 year. If you change that to
Just that wording?
required,
Just successfully complete an accredited medical laboratory science program. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine.
you don't have to specify how many, how long it
How
is, because
long?
everybody's is different.
Yeah.
And when I first read it, I read it as clinical experience. And, we have some hospital-based programs that's still doing that, but not everybody.
Oh, but that it includes that entire educational experience from when the time they enroll in an approved school. But I understand what you're saying. Nobody does that anymore. Well, I mean, I guess there's some rare hospital-based programs that might fall under.
So how do you want to say this?
Yeah.
The
That's
education.
only if y'all agree. If nobody else sees
no.
it like that, we
Enroll
don't
in a
have to
school
change
of-
it.
That's enroll in and complete.
And successfully complete an accredited School of Medical Laboratory Science.
That's good. Because, some of them are part-time, and so saying it full-time,
So you want to say fulfill the educational requirements,
necessary to enroll in a
No, you
School
don't.
of Medical Laboratory Science.
no. Education requirements
Wait, you're amending
necessary.
2 to say add enroll in a clinical laboratory science curriculum?
Necessary to complete no.
To enroll and complete a School of Medical Laboratory Science or a program in medical laboratory science, an approved program in medical laboratory science.
all right, that says technology. You need to get rid of technology. That's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
So how do y'all want to read it? Read it, somebody, how you want it to work, to sound.
I don't know what we wanted to say.
I think we need to leave it, possess a baccalaureate degree from an accredited college or university, fulfill the educational requirements to enroll and complete a program in medical laboratory science, and don't put times.
Well, what about, you got to complete the examination.
And successfully complete, then let the rest of it roll.
Yes. And you might want to add accredited in front of medical laboratory science program.
Right.
I think enroll is a little redundant because you'd have to say enroll in and complete, but you can't complete it if you haven't
Haven't
enrolled.
enrolled, yeah, just say complete.
I think enroll can go out. You can just say fulfill the successfully complete an approved medical laboratory science program and successfully pass or complete a national recognized certification exam. And then that last sentence, the required year of full-time clinical laboratory experience doesn't even need to be added, because if they've completed the program and sat for the exam and passed, then that's what we're wanting them to do.
You see, but Jessica, that's where your question about that it says the required year of full-time clinical laboratory experience may be included in the curriculum for the baccalaureate. See, that's where you got around, you didn't need 12 months of clinical training because it was incorporated into the program. Curriculum.
I didn't think it was read as 12 months. I just thought it was kind of outdated because not many people are using that now. I just said
I see what you mean.
There's so many different programs out there accomplishing the same thing. So
yeah. I don't know. Patricia, did you kind of
So are
get
you
that
changing
wording?
any of it or not?
What did you say, Patsy?
Are we changing either of those, or are we just leaving it alone?
I thought we were changing it to,
Tell me what we changing it to, Larry. I'm gonna write it down.
I didn't copy it down, but it basically possessed the baccalaureate degree from a accredited medical technology program.
Medical laboratory science program.
And successfully complete the nationally recognized certification examination.
I agree. I think it could be just as simple as that.
I didn't write it down. Do you have it written down, Jessica?
No, ma'am, I don't. I'm sitting in my car. I can try.
Right. Let's write it, y'all. What do you want me to say? Look, Angela, you write it down. Larry,
Okay.
you say what it was.
Possess a baccalaureate degree
From accredited medical laboratory science program, right? Is that what you said? And successfully complete a nationally recognized certification examination as approved by the board upon recommendation of the committee.
Right.
Right.
And the next sentence can be deleted. The required full year of clinical laboratory experience may be included in the curriculum.
Yeah.
Baccalaureate degree.
That's all.
But you know what? That year, we need to add that to number 2, because AAB is trying to give out, they let them take the test without the year. And it comes back, and I've had to call them and say, look, this person doesn't have a year of clinical experience. So the second one needs to say, and have a year of clinical laboratory experience.
Well, in number 2, you can put complete the educational, clinical, and you can put in parentheses a full year.
Full-time year.
Full-time year. Full year of clinical experience and employment experience requirement.
Yeah, because see, they try to get around that and not do it. And they were giving out these provisional things, and before I got there, they were giving them full licenses. I don't do that. If they don't have the experience, they don't get, no provisional license certification gets approved.
All right, who made the motion and who seconded?
for what, 1323A? We haven't done 2 yet.
A, 1 and 2.
I make a motion for 1323A1. Do we have to say it again?
They possess a baccalaureate degree from an accredited laboratory science program and
Successfully
Medical
successfully
laboratory science
complete
program.
a nationally recognized certification examination. And so that it goes on to there, right?
As approved by the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I move for that.
Do I have a second?
Oh, yeah.
I second.
I'll second. It's
Tabitha?
Tabitha.
Tabitha,
Okay, thank
okay.
you, Tabitha.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any
Ms. Wilson,
opposed?
do you have that data?
The motion carried.
What now?
Ms. Wilton, do you have that language for one?
I'm gonna get it off the tape.
Thank you so much. Okay, I didn't get it.
Okay, that's for one. That's
Do we
A1.
have a motion for the second part for A2?
So you wanted to say, go ahead, Jessica.
So I move to state complete the educational, clinical, 1 year of clinical and employment experience requirement necessary to be eligible for and successfully complete a national recognized certification exam approved by the board.
So all we're going to do is add 1 year of clinical and employment experience. Is that right? We're just going to add 1 year in there. Is that correct?
Why does it need to say employment? Why don't we say educational and clinical experience?
That's I was curious.
Educational, 1 year.
1 year of clinical, full-time
experience.
clinical experience.
1 year of full-time clinical experience.
Right. And
We're
then
moving
everything else is
employment.
fine. Because the AAB will try to get around that year of experience. And they're certifying people that haven't even worked in the lab.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Who was that? I lost it.
Madeline.
Nadlin, thank you,
Madeline, thank
Nadlin.
you.
So is it Jessica and Madeline? Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor of this motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
So y'all are gonna kill me, but go down to C, and I said the same thing for 1 and 2 under MLT, but just tell me if there's a reason why we have both of those.
The same reason we have for the first one.
Exactly. Because the reasoning was you didn't necessarily have to complete a NACLS accredited program.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be able to, and you don't, Jessica, to sit for these exams. There
You
are all
don't.
these routes. You do not have to,
Go
be
through a med tech
enrolled in a
program.
NACLS
Right.
accredited program.
So and that's what I was saying, but it would not be good to just keep number 2. It's not explicit enough is what y'all are saying.
Right, we need both, and
Okay.
but number 2 needs to say the same thing, needs to be worded like number 2 under A.
So I move to change 1323C2 to complete the educational and full-time 1 year of full-time clinical experience requirements necessary to be eligible for and successfully complete a nationally recognized certification exam, all of which are approved by the board.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second Tabitha.
Thank you, Tabitha. All those in favor of this motion say aye.
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 Any opposed?
So I've got a question.
Motion carries. Oh, I'm sorry. Go, Larry.
I voted for both of them, but with the wording that we have, isn't it counterintuitive that you include the idea that it's a requirement for a nationally recognized certification exam? In other words, if I know why we voted for it, but can the counter argument be, well, we don't require that 1 year? So do we have to implicitly state that in addition to their requirements, we require 1 year. I'm just
Yeah.
being the devil's advocate.
No, yes, we have to explicitly state that because they don't require it.
Right. And I don't know if the wording that we passed explicitly states it.
Okay, make it explicitly stated.
You're talking about for the one we already did for the MLS?
Yes, both of them, both that we did, that we're saying that 1 year of clinical experience in addition to the requirements that the nationally recognized certification exams require.
So we might need to say complete all the following: educational experience, one full year of clinical experience, and successfully pass a nationally approved accreditation exam. So what you're saying is the
And don't
passing the
say
exam may
necessary.
override the full time 1 year.
I think Dr. Van has a comment.
I'm going to ask you, is AAB, the one we're concerned about, a nationally recognized certification exam at this time? Because I thought they weren't.
It's recognized but not accredited.
Okay, so then do we want to change this to say nationally accredited?
I'd love to.
Patsy, stop. We've been through this over and over again.
They
And
were
the
told,
reason is because
they were told 3 or 4 years ago that they had 2 years to get it accredited.
But let me say this to you. I think that if you stand by this and say this is for the betterment and the protection of the public, I think I can sell this and the governor's package will get it through. This is a golden opportunity when you got the governor behind you, and not a lot of people are going to say, well, wait a minute, it's not an accredited exam. We don't want that. Just think about your timing here. But if you want to leave it alone, leave it alone.
Why are we getting off internet?
the glitch comes with some of these specialist certifications. And Patsy, you know this is true.
I know that, but we don't have to list it under those if there is none available.
How do you justify that?
If there's none available, how can we make a rule that there's nothing available? For example, Larry, that NRCC is not nationally accredited. And that's
No, it's
probably the best
accredited.
one.
It's not a certified accrediting agency. They're not nationally certified.
They are not nationally accredited.
So do we have to specify?
Right now, we're not in specialists.
What exactly is a nationally accredited certification agency? I mean,
There are accrediting agencies for certification examinations. And NRCC is not accredited. Their exam is not accredited.
All right,
But ASCP and AMT are.
We're under the MLS and MLT sections.
Correct. And they are AMT and ASCP are accredited certification agencies.
All right. Are y'all saying that we're going to need to get permission to go back and fix what we just said, or are we leaving those two as they were approved?
If you want to change it to accredited, you have to go back to those and change the wording to accredited certification agency. Nationally accredited certification agency instead of recognized.
Okay, Ms. Wilton.
Dr. Van, is it going to fly?
If you can do it, I would love it.
Well, I mean, look, when we talk to them, we can say, this is what the committee wants. This is going nationwide. Everybody's going to a nationally accredited exam. Okay. So they were told 3 years ago to do it. They haven't done it. Okay.
No, and they're not going.
And if they don't want to do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, we are making a recommendation to the legislature that best protects the public. All right, if you don't believe that and you think to let that other test that's not that's not accredited, that's fine. But I have heard all along that we think it's best to have the nationally accredited.
I'd like to give it a try.
Okay, then what we need is Jessica made that motion. She needs to make an amendment to her motion or rescind it.
Anybody can amend it. Anybody can amend it.
I amend that we make the wording to be nationally accredited for any and all MLT, MLS specialist licensures.
You can't
'Cause
say,
I
you can't do specialists because that's the problem one.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No,
So
no,
you're-
no,
Well,
it's
You're
fine.
wanting to add the word accredited to section A2 and section B, section C2.
okay, you could put that I make the motion to add the
1 and 2.
accreditation word.
A1 and 2.
Okay.
Instead of nationally recognized, nationally accredited.
Okay, I make the motion to enter that verbiage on A1 and A2.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
It's
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
That's
Do we have a
Tabitha.
second?
Second.
That's
Nadlin.
Nadlin. All those in favor of adding the word accredited as appropriate in section 1 and 2 of A, say aye.
I
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, and then we had the same issue in section C, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to add the verbiage to section 1 and 2.
Do I have a second?
Wait, what? I couldn't understand.
Oh, sorry, I make the motion to add the verbiage for the same verbiage to sections 1 and 2.
Okay.
For number C.
C,
Do I
yeah.
have a second?
Second.
Second.
That was
Or-
Belinda. All
Yes.
those in favor of the motion, say aye.
I
That's
Any-
C1 and C2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any
got it.
opposed? Motion carries. All right, do we have another change working our way down?
The only other thing Patsy and I had, I don't know, does anybody, it goes all the way to 1324. It would have to be a letter C or somewhere incorporate into it that trainees may not report results. That was,
I had
Well-
I had that same question too.
We did have, Mr. Vickner had brought up something about this section B in 1324, and we were going to make a change at that section. Y'all were discussing that.
yeah, it was to add trainees may not report results.
No, y'all had,
No.
y'all were commenting about 5.5.
Oh, the 5, there were 2 5s. One needs to be omitted.
Don't, come in, just put in, come
And-
on.
And you were saying also
Yeah,
something
I didn't say
about
that long.
the 5 years.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
Y'all were questioning the wording of the 5 years there.
It was under the revoked license, like where it was,
No, it was
Or
it
was-
was a license that was not renewed for over, it was under
Right.
5 years or more than 5 years.
Yeah.
They had previously been licensed and they did not work. If it's under 5 years, we changed that in the previous section. And we're talking about what to do about more than 5 years.
correct. And this one says within the last 5 years. So do we need it to say more?
No,
Hush.
It says who is not engaged in the practice within the last 5 years.
It means that you're past 5 years.
Okay, so we just need to get rid of one of the 5s.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Ms.
And I
Wilson,
think-
do we need a
and-
motion for that?
Yes.
Well, it's just a double 5, it's a typo.
I make a motion to remove the second 5 from 1324B. But
I'll second.
It's Jessica and Tabitha. All those in favor of getting rid of the second 5 where they're 5, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
But I think what Angela's saying is something I wrote down too. And in that, does it specifically say if they can turn out results when they're doing that training? Do we
It
need
does
to
not
add?
say that, and I think it needs to be put
It
in.
does.
Either as
And
a C or just incorporated into the
I'd
B.
rather it be bold and put C and say a trainee may not report results, because I get more questions on that for lab assistants than any other question. I
Okay,
think
so
that
I'm
we
gonna
get.
move.
What's the difference between a trainee and somebody who has not sat for their examination?
Well, I wrote the same thing, Dr. Collada, and I said, so would this be what we're going to do instead of doing temp licenses in the future? So, but
Well,
No,
I
because
think-
temporary licensed people can report results. Trainees cannot.
Okay,
This
but-
is for people, that want to get like a specialist license in cytogenetics or something like that. And there's no real, that there's not a program available, and they train for sometimes 2 years to
But
sit
the
for the
reason-
exam.
the reason why I said that is because right now we don't even, in the way it's written currently, it doesn't say. I said, can they finalize patient results? And, that's what I'm saying. So what is the difference in this and a temp license?
A trainee cannot report results.
And a temp,
A temp can report results. That's the difference.
all
Now,
right.
a temporary permit is a permit for a graduate that has accredited program and not passed the certification exam. That's what it says.
That is correct.
So here, but I want to point out to you that you will have people who are not capable to pass the test, but are doing testing and reporting testing out. They are not certified, but we're going to let them give data out that affects the outcome and treatment of patients.
I know I don't like,
Well, then let's just simply start. The best way to do that is to go where it says shall issue the temporary permits and say may, and then the board can come in and write in the rules where you want it to be specific and where it's not going to be specific. But once you say shall issue, we have to issue those temporary permits. Now, you make a decision, but I'm just telling you, think of it this way. These people, if they don't pass the test, they may have finished the school, but if they can't pass the test, you would be one of the few areas where people who have not passed their certification exam are making decisions that affect patient care.
and the way it's written now, they can do it for 6 months.
And if
Yes.
they don't
Long
pass,
time.
And the way I feel too is we just push to have an accredited certification exam, and we want accredited, but we're not going to bind them to that for 6 months.
That's too long for one thing.
well, then why don't you just simply change where it says shall issue to may issue, and then we can make the rules reflect what we want it to say.
So do we want to finish voting on this one and add C in this section and then come back to the temp license?
Okay.
Whatever you want to do it. I'm just suggesting that you address that concern ultimately.
Okay, I move that we add a C to 1324, which says trainees may not report results.
I'll second that.
Who's that?
Angela and Tabitha.
But not this.
Okay. You want to vote on that?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. What were y'all going? Were y'all going back to section A of this section, 1324A, and changing that shall to, no, it says may?
Is what I would suggest, and that way
Oh,
you
that's
can
a-
make them take the nationally accredited exam before they start doing anything that affects patients.
Yeah, but that's not the temporary permit. That's license and training.
Yeah, they can't report results anyway. You want to go
Right.
back to the
We
permit.
wanna
I
go to
We
believe,
want to go
li-
to
Dr.
temp
Van.
license,
Yeah.
the temporary license.
Well, I gotta find it. I don't know where it is.
I can find it. I'm looking.
1322.
1322. Yeah, 1322.
Temporary permit.
Yeah.
So you would change an applicant for licensure license as an MLS categorical MLT, or cytologist who has fulfilled the educational qualifications shall be granted.
No, it
Instead of
already
may.
says may be
It
It
granted.
already says
It says
May.
may.
Okay.
It's
all right,
already
'cause
May.
I must have been looking at another one. where
We
it was
already
different.
fixed it.
All right,
All
so
right,
we
so
fixed it.
let's-
Okay, good enough.
All right, so let's
Okay.
go on.
I didn't have
Okay.
any more edits, but I do think that if we're changing that nationally approved, nationally accredited exam under definitions, do we need to change under 1312?
Yeah,
131212, the definition there also, or
Yeah.
no?
yeah.
Yes.
And then can somebody
Where,
do, I'm
wait,
not,
where is that, Jessica? Which
it's
one
the
is it?
first two pages where it has the definitions, and
Definitions.
number 12 has nationally recognized certification exam. Do we want it to be nationally accredited certification exam?
That was what I had marked on October 27th of 22, that we'd already changed that to accredited.
Okay, well, let's
I
change
thought
it
we
now.
had two. Now,
Nationally accredited certification exam means an examination accredited by
It's approved by the board.
by a national accrediting agency.
yes, an accrediting agency that accredited the certification exam.
What
then do
I
we-
wanna, well, I want to tell y'all something because they do not accredit the exams. They accredit the organization that administers the exam. And they do that by making them show how they write the exam, how they validate their exam. It's all that kind of stuff. It's not really the exams themselves that are accredited. It is the agency that is nationally accredited.
Well, then why
So-
don't we say nationally accredited examination agency? That's what you wanted to say.
Sounds good.
Okay.
But again, I want to talk to you about license and training 1324A.
Do we need to motion
Okay.
on this?
Read it.
Definition 12. If y'all are gonna put the word accredited in there, we need a motion and second.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
That's
So you're gonna
Tabitha.
say an examination, you have to say,
An examination agency. An
Accredited, accredited.
An examination accredited by a nationally accreditable, by a national agency that is capable of doing national accreditation.
No.
No.
What do you want it to say then?
A nationally
A
accredited.
certification examination provided by
administered by
an organization that has been nationally that
Accredited.
has been
Okay.
accredited by a national certification agency or a national accreditation agency.
but y'all, throughout this document, we have to complete a nationally.
I
rec-
know, y'all debate, y'all,
Yeah, we
y'all-
really are.
y'all
Mhm.
crossed this line 2 years ago.
We did.
That's why I was saying we're gonna have to search the document and make sure we have it all.
Yeah, but you're,
If you want a nationally accredited agency that gives the exam, then let's say that. If you don't, than just say a certification.
Well, we
exam.
could say a nationally recognized certification examination means an examination administered by an agency that
And
has been
accredited.
nationally accredited.
Yeah, that's the way to handle that.
So you want to add a definition for nationally recognized certification examination.
Yes.
They're
Gonna
wanting
go
to edit.
definitions and add a definition.
No,
No, it's going to say because we've got nationally recognized certification examination throughout this thing. And maybe we have to say means an examination administered by an agency that has been nationally accredited.
Accredited.
Again, that's why I would say make a definition for nationally recognized certification examination
it is. It's number 12.
over 12.
Number
Number
12.
Okay, let's go back and look at what it
Number
says.
12 under 1312.
Means an examination approved by the board and administered by an agency that holds national accreditation.
Okay, so basically.
National certification accreditation. Is that right, Angela?
Yeah, a national that has been
Nationally accredited.
The agency, the testing agency.
Yes. Administered by an agency
that is
holds a
national
national
that is
certification.
nationally accredited.
That is nationally.
My only problem with that is, again, these specialists.
If you
people-
leave it as is, you're back to that the board has approved it. Period.
Now, if the board changes its mind and does, again, we are trying to get everybody to have a national certified exam. The problem here is that somebody who is not, that doesn't have good data on their testing process, monitoring of their testing process, design of their testing process, and all of these things that our psychometricians do for this issue would not be qualified. That's what we're trying to say. Now, the board could then simply say, well, wait a minute, you don't meet those requirements. Sorry, see you later.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. The way we decided that we would get around this was to go ahead and leave it as a nationally recognized certification examination approved by the board.
Okay.
And then
good enough.
let the board decide whether they want to approve it. But maybe that's not what you want,
No,
Dr.
we'll live with it. I just want to know what you want. If you
I
think that's
want 'em-
going to be sufficient to deal with the issue, we'll deal with it.
Patsy, what do you want?
I want MLTs and MLSs to take a nationally, an exam from a nationally accredited agency. Because we got 2 of them that are available. That's not a problem. They're the most well-known and everything. We actually don't have that many AABs, but we do get some. But the bulk of the laboratorians are going to be MLSs and MLTs. So that would cover almost everybody. It would only be some of the specialists that wouldn't, where there's no accredited agency available. That wouldn't.
Well, under the specialty category, couldn't we put a blurb like that or add a blurb that says that?
That says what?
Where there's no accredited certification exam available, like what do we are a nationally approved? nationally
It's gonna
recognized
be
exam.
nationally recognized. There are, yeah. Now AAB does some of those and they would still be able to do those specialists. But like Angela's saying, if we do this, the AAB will come and say, well, why don't you make the specialists do it? Because the reason when we don't is they're not available.
Larry, you might want to weigh in on this because it affects your people.
Yeah, and you know, CLIA allows people,
CLIA
I'm just
doesn't
going to
require
say
anything.
NRCC, CLIA allows someone with that certification and a PhD and experience to be a lab director. If we say that NRCC certification exam is not good enough to do lab testing in Louisiana, but it's good enough to be a lab director in Louisiana, are we are we being consistent?
No.
Patsy, this is Alexa. I
Hi.
thought that at one point that we had left language in there for specialist that referred back to CLIA because they do have, CMS has a list of their recognized certification exams that Larry's talking about. There's a specific list of which ones with a PhD or a bachelor's degree are acceptable, but that would be specific to the specialist, not to MLT.
We could do that. We could say as listed in CLIA.
The only place that I thought that we had, but the only place that I see that looks like, what section is
Was
this?
that addressed in the rules and not the law? Is that what y'all are
It
talking
was
about?
probably
Yes,
addressed.
That's probably where it is.
I think it's in the rules.
Yeah. I think, well, is AAB in that list? I mean, if we have to let them be in it if we
Well,
say it this way.
It is only for certain exams though.
Okay. All right. Well, then I like that. I like saying it like that.
Saying it like what?
Like for the specialist, an exam that has been approved by CLIA.
You want to
for
put that in the law?
PhDs.
You want to put that in the law or the
Yeah, I
rules?
do.
Where are you talking about now? So what are y'all doing to section number 12?
I'm trying to find the qualifications for laboratory specialists. That's what I want to look at.
You done? I'm still in the meeting, but it's a public meeting. You can come and go.
We haven't addressed changing for the specialist under 1323
B. I think that's where we need to say the agencies as determined by CLIA for specialists. How is that worded, Alexa, in the CLIA document? Does that just talk about PhDs and bachelor's people? Or does it still cover people with 16 hours of chemistry and the this
No,
and
that is for PhD only.
Oh, okay.
So it's PhD only.
Okay, well then we could say it that way.
I'm pulling up the language right now from the regs.
But our specialist can be a doctoral, master, or baccalaureate degree person. I don't know how to say it. We could say, to complete a nationally recognized certification examination as listed in CLIA, whatever the number is.
Patsy, what section are you in?
I'm in 1323B.
So y'all are leaving that number 12 definition alone? Because that's where we'd gone back to.
Okay, no, I don't know. I think that that definition needs to be changed.
Well, back to the 1323B, does the last statement, all of which are approved by the board, does that give us, wouldn't that give us the authority to decide which ones
Truly, it
for
does.
specialists?
To define it in the rules. Dr. Van, you're muted.
You all might recommend to us what to do, but the board would make the decision. The board
Right, that would
itself.
be fine.
But
Yeah,
we would
that
look
would
to
be
you
fine.
all to support the recommendation.
And the committee could establish some type of rule that would list the ones in CLIA, right?
We could.
I think that's where we had it, was in the rules.
So we
And
can leave
then-
it alone, actually. We can, we don't have to change that.
Right.
But I do think we need to change the definition.
Definition. Yes.
All right, so we need to go back to number 12 definition.
I think so.
Do we have a motion to recommend how to change number 12?
Nationally.
So basically what we want to do is establish something about the organization giving the examination be certified.
Accredited.
But as of now, 12 refers only to the exam.
Well, yeah, we were going to say nationally recognized certification examination means an examination administered by an agency that holds national accreditation.
And approved by the board.
And approved. Yeah. We could say and or approved by the board because those specialists are not going to have that.
That holds a, am I unmuted? That holds a national accreditation or is approved by the board.
Well,
Right.
you need to
And
decide, if you're going to limit it only to those where no accredited exam is available. Or you're gonna let everybody come ask the board whether they'll approve their
Yeah,
non-accredited
I know.
exam.
yeah, I don't think we want that.
Yeah, I think it needs to be where, like how they said,
When one
that
is
if there's
available.
nothing available, yeah, then the board can approve.
So where do we insert that? nationally accredited if available.
I don't know. What do you say, Ms. Wilton?
I think you can say a nationally accredited exam, comma, where available, comma, or in the absence thereof, as approved by the board.
Okay.
But they're all gonna have to be approved by the board, whether they're accredited or not.
Well, they are. I mean, all the basic ones are already approved.
Okay. Do we have a motion to meet those needs?
I make a motion to change the verbiage to what Ms. Wilson said.
I second it.
Who was the second?
Madeline.
Madeline, thank you. All those in favor of these changes, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
So I've got a question now. Did we change, is the wording still nationally recognized certification examination? Or did we change that in other places? I'm just trying to
Keep
make
it
sure
clean.
that,
We did change it in other places. We changed
know
it
we
to
did.
nationally accredited.
right.
Uh,
And so we're defining something that I think is only under specialists now.
that definition really is only under specialist. Correct.
Do we need to have a definition about, to clarify the others?
Again, I'm just going to tell y'all, it's not the examination that's accredited.
Right.
It's the agency that holds the accreditation. So I don't know.
Well, we can leave it
Examination
nationally recognized.
administered. See, it should have said an examination administered by a nationally recognized certification agency or nationally accredited certification agency. Now, see, you can't, I mean, it really isn't right. No comment.
I'm reading. I don't, okay, I didn't scratch through nationally recognized certification exam on mine. Did we change that? I didn't scratch it out. I just left it.
Yeah,
like
under 1323(1).
Yeah.
A1, we said we were going to change it to nationally accredited certification examination. And it's really an
agency, huh?
examination administered by either a nationally recognized agency or a nationally accredited agency. That's the differences.
Well, then
A,
you need
B
to
is
change
nationally
that
recognized.
wording to.
It doesn't have national accreditation.
Well, then we've got to make that wording match. If we leave it like it was, it's nationally recognized certification examination, and we got their new definition, then it's okay. It means it has to be given by an accredited agency.
Okay.
Right.
So you want to leave in nationally recognized, you don't want to change it to accredited, and then you want to define nationally recognized certification examination is one that is administered by an agency that holds has a national accreditation, or
Yeah.
that is accredited by a national accrediting agency.
Yes. So we're gonna need to re-vote on A1 and A2. And leave it nationally recognized as it was.
I don't know. Am I saying this right?
You are. You are right. You are. It is the agency that is accredited. You are saying it correctly. It's not the exam. It then is assumed if the agency is accredited that all their exams follow those rules.
See, when you kind of Google that, you know, it always comes up as NACLs, but that's not what.
No, that's nothing to do with that. That accredits programs. That doesn't accredit.
I know.
Well, people need to know what they're talking about when they bring up NACLs. So do y'all want to vote to change A1 and 2 back to its original, what we had, nationally recognized certification exam?
Yeah, it's an accrediting agency for certifying organizations. That's ANSI and that's NCCA. And so ASCP has an ANSI certification.
AMT.
AMT has another one, but theirs is also, you know, creditable.
Yes.
Accrediting agency.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ms. Wilton, can you make that worded right?
I will do my very best. I can't do it on the fly. I'm gonna have to sit and think about it for a minute.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know this has been going on forever and it's painful, you know, but it's just a hard situation to try to put into the law and then hope that it flies, you know?
So do we need another motion for these?
I'm not sure what to move.
I think that you need to repeal the motion to change nationally accredited in 1323, A1 and 2 back to nationally recognized certification examination.
But there were other changes in that motion too.
They all should say.
No, we kind of did that one separately. I wrote it down separately.
Where is it?
Maybe
Patsy?
not. Maybe not.
Where is it, Patsy? 13 what?
23.
It should say, and successfully complete a certification exam administered by a nationally recognized certification agency. And then
In the
if we want to say,
in the definition.
no, I'm talking about in 1323 where we wanted to change it to nationally accredited. It should never have said a nationally recognized certification examination.
Well, we're defining nationally recognized, Angela.
It's not as an examination. Oh, okay. How are you going to?
We're redefining nationally recognized
certification examination.
Means an examination administered by an agency that, I'm having trouble with my writing, that holds national accreditation. And then I have something about and/or approval of the board.
But see, I thought we went to
No,
all
we're
these.
available. I didn't say that right. I don't have this written down right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That we're available, I like
So
that
now-
part.
Go ahead, Ms. Wilton.
To accredited. I mean, that's why we went to recognized, right?
Accredited where
Because we
available.
didn't think we could get accredited to pass.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I don't.
accredited where available and approved by the board. And then we don't have to change all that stuff, put all that stuff in all the MLT and MLS and all that.
So what do you want it to say? That the definition of a nationally recognized certification examination is an examination administered by an agency, an organization that has, that is,
Nationally accredited where available.
no, it's certified by a national accrediting agency. It is certified by a national accrediting agency. That's it. They are certified. An organization that is certified by a national accrediting agency.
So I go back to my same question. I thought originally we defaulted to nationally recognized because we didn't want to use accredited. If we want to use accredited now, then why are we defining nationally recognized as accredited?
We got to do one or the other because it doesn't make sense if you don't.
Well, Dr. Collada suggested that we say that in the definition and say where available
I never,
or otherwise approved by the board.
well, Dr. Collada never said where available. He just suggested that you define what the terms of the examination are so that it's clear that you want somebody who is giving a test that has been psychometrically evaluated and validated to be a valid test of the knowledge of the testing person or the examinee, so that you can certify them to do the work that protects the public. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
But again, that's why I wanted you to have a definition that says what you want it to say, and then you could call it spit wherever it is, and that's what spit means. I mean, that's
And you
the
don't
key
have to keep
definition.
saying it.
What was that? For the plaque I got, or the week. So that's me in the defense.
But I think you guys first have to decide what you really want the test. What do you want the test to be? Can I open Van Collada's laboratory testing certification agency? Is that the ones you want them to take?
And our plaque sponsor.
Well, I mean, when we said nationally recognized, you know, there weren't, that would have included the major or certifying agencies, including AAB, because it is a nationally recognized certifying agency. They are just not accredited. I don't know.
But we're making our
we need
own
help.
definition of nationally recognized. In what way do we want it nationally recognized? That's why we have the definition like this. Otherwise, you're going to have to say all of that every time you say certification examination, which either way works.
We need other people on the committee to comment. What do y'all think?
I think we're trying to, so with number 12, instead of changing all the language, we're trying to redefine what we want to say as nationally recognized certification examination. Just to eliminate work, but to do the best revision, we need to have use the term that we want to use. We need to say accredited certification and just leave it at that. And then it'll just all have to be changed. So it's either put into the correct words what we want and change the document as how we want it to reflect, or you change the definition, and that way every time you see nationally recognized certification, you'll have to refer back to the definition for clarification. That's what I'm getting from the, seems to be the confusion.
I agree with that. But I also think that we should be accredited where possible. And if we can't have accreditation, then recognized and approved by the board.
But Ms. Wilton said you couldn't say, you shouldn't say where available.
Okay.
No, she did. She used that term.
Oh, I thought she said we couldn't do that.
No, that was her terminology.
Are you there, Ms.
Right,
Wilton?
Patricia?
Yeah, I am. I was trying to distinguish between the and or approved by the board. So you first want to say if there's a national accredited exam available, you have to start with that. If there's not one available, you can then present your program to the board to be approved.
That's
So say
basically
or.
that is basically what we want to say.
That is.
But it's not a accredited examination. It's an examination administered
By
by
an accredited agency. Yes,
right.
ma'am.
By an agency that has been certified by a national accrediting agency. It's yeah, anyway, you know.
I don't think we can do, I think we have to have a motion.
Doesn't work.
I move that we
wish.
I move that we let Ms. Wilton reword it and then we revisit it at our next, in a week.
February.
If ever she could get to it.
I'll second that.
I mean, I think just procedurally, we're in the middle of the holidays. I mean, we settled on this in 24. Now we're revising it in 20. We passed it, we're changing it again. My concern is time is running out. Okay.
Yep.
You don't trust her to do it. Don't trust her to do it. And y'all meet here till you finish and we'll reconvene tomorrow morning if we need to. My problem is at 5 o'clock, I got to send people home. I can't pay overtime. Okay. So again, I think the key here is if we're not going to trust Ms. Wilton to do it, that's why I say it's better to tell Ms. Wilton what you want it to say, and she will do the wordsmithing to give you the legal language that it needs to be. That's her expertise. Your expertise is to tell us what you want it to say, and then she'll do that for us.
I mean, I think what we wanted to say. We wanted to say that they have to pass an examination that is administered by an agency that has national that has been certified by a national accrediting agency. Or if none is available, however she wants to legally write that, then one that is approved by the board.
Got it.
Right,
I can do that.
She can
She'll
do
do
that. Good. Thank you. Please. Thank you.
Okay.
Next,
Does that have to be a motion that we vote on, or is that good enough?
Your instruction is good enough, and when you come back, when you see what I have, you can vote on it and change it, edit it, fix it however you want.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
So I think we're finished, aren't we? Are we finished, Gay?
I'm asking, do we have any changes after this section y'all just discussed?
I don't.
No, the last thing on the document was the 1323C where we wanted to just add that trainees may not report results.
I thought we voted on that already.
Yeah, we did. That was the end of the document.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then we went back and revisited the
I
exam.
think you voted on everything that needed to be voted on.
Okay.
Well,
The only thing that I would call to your attention is the issue of renewal of a license. Okay. We talked about the period is the end of the year, but if you go to 1321B, a delinquent fee in addition to the renewal fee shall be collected if a license or permit is not renewed by expiration date, not by February of the.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Good catch.
So do we need a motion on that?
I think you do.
I don't know, do we?
Just, why don't you just
Did
say, let
on
Ms.
everything
Wilton,
else.
let Ms. Wilton correct that to read renewed by expiration date.
Yes.
That's fine.
But we had to make a motion on when we took out the second 5.
But y'all, at that point, y'all are amending it. She's not. Y'all are telling her what you want the language to say. And the other one, you're saying you want the language to be as specific as you want it, and she's going to craft it the way she thinks is best linguistically.
Okay. So so she'll just change that language and we don't need to vote on it. That's best linguistically.
Well, my suggestion is, if we can't trust Ms. Wilton, then we'll just have to meet again and it may get, I'll do my best to get it on the agenda for the session. If we can't, I mean, look, it's the holidays, the board, we got a lot of stuff happening. And so I don't know that we're going to be able to meet next week. And the week after, I'm out of town. Y'all welcome to meet then. That doesn't bother me. But then I got a board meeting on the 15th of December.
We'll fit it in. We'll fit it in. I'll make these changes as quickly as humanly possible. We'll find an available date, and we'll let you all see it one more time, and then speak then or forever hold your peace, and then we'll move on.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
I've got one small typo or grammar.
Where, Larry?
1322 A, the second to last line will expire 6 months after either it is issued or issuance.
After issuance. You can take out the is.
Right.
After issuance and may not be renewed. Okay. But that's just a typo.
Right.
I mean, you want to move and second all that, or that, is that all right, Miss Wilton? You can do that one?
I can fix that one.
Okay, great.
Did we ever clarify about those with temporary licenses being able to result?
They can't, no, they can result.
Temporary licenses can, trainees cannot.
Okay.
It's, I mean, we voted on that change that, under 17, under 13, 12, 17, a temporary permit. It should say who was eligible for employment and training and is allowed to report results. We voted on that. Okay.
All right, but I thought there was when we talked about the 6-month waiting period, I thought there was an issue. I was just making sure.
Well, we don't like them being unable to work for 6 months without passing a test. 6 months is a long time.
Right.
All right, so we're done here. So Dr. Van, this document that we have looked at today is what you're going to be presenting to LDH. Is that what you said?
I don't think it'll be ready to show to LDH on Monday, quite frankly. But I will work with them, as Ms. Wilton and I will work with them to get everything done as fast as we can. And because you all need to see it again, So, and then if you delay it again, it gets delayed. I don't think I would.
So am I to understand you have a meeting with LDH on Monday?
Yes.
Is that here in New Orleans? That's in Baton Rouge? Probably Baton Rouge.
It's not about CLP. It's generally about the agency in general.
It's about many things with the agency, the legislative packages we want to talk about, the other things like fee increases, things like what the board has to do with certain problems and in areas, and we're working with very closely with LDH to correct all these issues. And so again, that's the meeting we're having. And it's with LDH and the leadership of the board to make some changes. And they wanted to know what we wanted to put in the legislative package that was going to be supported by the governor. So I'll do my best to get this in, but if you have to look at it again, you have to look at it again.
All right, is there any other, there's nothing else on the agenda. Does anybody else have anything else?
So, I mean, when I do these minutes, I'm not gonna write all of these changes into the minutes. I think that it should be, there was a discussion on the law and there were changes that were made, and the committee will review those changes when Ms. Wilton completes the changes as directed by the committee. That's what I'm gonna do. Is that all right with y'all?
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Now, to expedite it, we can send you a copy as an individual. You can return it back to us, but you cannot get together and discuss it. Okay, so if you want to have a group discussion, it's going to have to be another meeting.
I mean, that's fine. You mean send it back to whom?
To me or to Ms. Wilton with your personal comments. But
No, who will she
Oh, if you
send it
send it to us with these changes, we could just look at it.
yeah, and say we'll
individually?
approve it.
That's okay.
That would
That's fine.
expedite it. But if you want to, but
No,
again,
we don't need to meet again. I
No.
think if she just sends us the things that we discussed and voted on,
She's
and
going to
let
put
us
all
look
of this
at
in
it one
one
more time.
document. She's going to put it all in one document. She's going to send it to you all. And then if you have any particular comments that you think need to be addressed, send it back, but don't have a meeting. Don't
Okay,
call
That's
4 or 5
great.
people to
I
discuss
think
it.
that's great.
That's great.
Is everybody good with that?
And I'll
I'm
put
good
that
with
in the
that.
minutes.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, then I would entertain a motion to be adjourned.
I motion to adjourn.
And
Thank you
second,
for a tedious process. We appreciate your
Second.
time and
who
devotion
seconded?
to the effort.
Madeline, second.
Who seconded? Natalie?
Madeline.
Madeline.
Thank
And
you.
who moved? I'm sorry. Who moved?
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
Okay, Tabitha. Okay.
All those
Thanks,
in
everybody.
favor?
Aye.
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 Bye-bye.
Happy
What time is it?
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving. So it's
And
what
Merry
time?
Christmas too, because I don't think
Yeah.
we'll be before Christmas.
Hopefully not.
I think our next
Great.
meeting is in February. Our next
So
scheduled.
we're adjourning at what, give me military time.
4:17.
16:18.
16:18.
18. Okay, great. All right. Thanks.
Thank
Dave.
y'all.
Y'all
Bye-bye.
have a happy Thanksgiving, a great weekend,
Yes.
and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
you. Thank all of y'all.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.